Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Happiness by Having. Today I am thrilled to bring you Sharon Jenkins. She's a book author of The Untold Love Story. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to know a little bit about your story.
As an author,
As your person, not the story. What brought you to write this book?
actually, I've been in the industry for over 20 years, and this is book number 32. And I've done fiction and nonfiction, but this is the first time I've done fiction. So I've always been in love with fiction novelists and the way they craft stories. And so the beautiful thing about that was for me to step into their place and to tell a good story. And I have a little bit of compassion for people who aren't often recognized as true overcomers and warriors and conquerors and kings and queens. And so I decided to write this story about an African princess who had really been validated as a daughter to a great king who loved his country, but he couldn't love his daughter because she wasn't a son. His firstborn was not a son.
Interesting. Does this story have any real pieces, or does that represent somebody you know, or
No.
is that totally fiction?
No, actually, it is totally fiction. The concept behind the story was to attribute virtue to a population of women, brown and black women, who are not often associated with being royalty or having a queen effect. And it's because it's not popular in the West for that story to be told. So just to break a stereotype a little bit. Well, most of the time, I've written inspirational books about being an author, entrepreneurship, authorship, and the business side of writing. Because a lot of times authors get caught up in the romanticism of being an author. And typically they don't want to deal with the business side of writing. They don't realize that when they write a book, that they are actually starting a business. So because they're familiar with the New York Times, they're selling less. They almost, I can't tell you how many times authors have come to me with that assumption that they're going to be a best-selling author. And maybe they have only written one book, but the moral of the story is writing is a craft, and you get better the more you do it. And the more you do it, the more you attract the people in your tribe, your readers.
What is this story for? Who is your target audience?
For this particular book,
That one in particular. And the others in general, is it different for different book, or you typically keep
well,
an
I,
audience?
I write in multi-genres.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular audience are young millennials who are searching for their identity and their identity in Christ and wondering, well, is God real? Does he care about me? Why is all of this stuff happening in the world around me that doesn't validate who I am or how I posture myself? And in essence, it's a love letter to those women, acknowledging the fact that they are valuable, that they are royal in nature because they exist and they walk in purpose. And this is to propel them and empower them to look beyond the negativity and the stereotypes and really pursue themselves.
And what is the message you want them to, the takeaways from the book, reading your book?
I want them to know that they are loved. That's the first message. And then the second message is that they are valued. Regardless of who you are, if you're a single mom with 5 kids, or if if your father never loved you, or, whatever things that you face in life. Maybe, unfortunately, in school you were bullied as a child. In essence, if you have not been validated as a woman, this book is a hug. It says to you, I'm royalty. And I don't have to look like anybody else. I just need to be the best me I can be.
Why is it important for you to tell that message? Is that something that do you feel that happened to you somehow?
No, I think it's important for me to tell the message because we live in a society where simulation is key, is a priority. I want to be like this person, or I want the wealth of that person, or I want the influence of this person. And in essence, when we're mimicking somebody else, we don't find our authentic self. It's okay to learn from the way someone postures themselves, but to mimic or be a carbon copy of something is not authentic. And you don't get authentic, true results when you do that.
Very good. Thank you so much for your message and thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.